So today, why trying to fix overwhelm keeps you stuck? I tried to fix overwhelm for a very long time in a number of different ways, which I'm hoping, if I don't get too distracted, I'm going to share on this session. So I think the first place I started when I noticed, well, I kind of noticed that I probably noticed procrastination more than anything, really. And I'm pretty sure that came from feeling overwhelmed about the number of things I thought I should be doing. And I started my journey to try and fix overwhelm with productivity hacks. So I've spoken in a previous video about the number of different tools I use to try and make myself be more productive. So I went through a phase of reading a lot of books about this. So a lot of books about habits. So there's a number of books about habits that suggest that little habits are best. So I think I read Tiny Habits, Mini Habits, and Atomic Habits is probably the one, the James Clear book that probably most of you might be familiar with. So I tried all of that, and I Mel Robbins, of course, 5 Second Rule. I just thought that somewhere along the line there was going to be some hack that I could use, some productivity hack to make myself be more productive and therefore not be overwhelmed because everything will be ticked off the jobs list. So of course, here's all the misunderstandings. The first misunderstanding for me was if I can get all those things off my list, I'll stop feeling overwhelmed because I believed that feeling came from the list. So then a lot of the focus was on getting things done. How can I be a person who gets more things done? The irony is that, we're going to go on this journey of my story together, but the irony is that since I dropped all those things, I'm a heck of a lot more productive than I've ever been in my life. It's so ironic. So as well as I'm not discounting any of those books. They're really interesting. There's some great things I've learned from them that I'm sure I'm still applying in my life now, but it became obsessive. And as I spoke about a lot in my videos about self-consciousness last week, the self-consciousness just became extremely exhausting, really, because I was so hyper focused and just noticing how much I did and getting so, I mean, we're bad at that anyway, aren't we? Most of us have a list of 10 things. If we do 8 of them, we don't celebrate the 8 we've done. We nitpick about the 2 that we haven't done. And I definitely was doing that. So there was a lot going on, an awful lot going on. So there was all the books I read, and then there was I've mentioned this in a previous video, but I just think it just makes me smile that I'm using Asana at the moment. I use Trello for kind of storage of things, but I use Asana to schedule, when am I going to go live, when am I going to make a blog, when I'm going to all my content stuff, all that kind of thing. And I have used Asana in the past and never did the things on it. I've moved my list from Asana back to paper, back to an A4 piece of paper, and written everything down. I've used the Eisenhower matrix, that you might come across, the urgent, important, urgent, not important, that grid thing. I've used that. I learned about that from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. What else have I used? Yeah, then I've used Google Tasks. So I moved everything onto paper, then I moved back onto Google Tasks, and then I've moved it back to Asana, and then I looked at just so many different things. I can't remember the name. All sorts of different, Notion. I've looked at that. I've literally tried them all, really, and that didn't really help either. But I think the problem is that all of those things are great. Like, I'm using Asana so well at the moment. Like, I get the thing, reminds me to do things. It's like a memory reminder thing. It helps me to schedule tasks in for when I know I've got time to do them. It's really helpful. But the problem is that when I was trying to use it before, when I was using all these different list management or task management things, I was doing all of them from a ridiculous misunderstanding about how everything worked. And I think that all my attempts to fix the overwhelm All they did really, and you might be seeing this too, is they added just so much pressure and noise into my head, when actually our most productive phases in life are when there's a little less noise and a little less pressure in the head and a little more opportunity to breathe. And perhaps a very different relationship with that inner critic, which is continually in the middle of that urgency spiral. I've got to get these things done. I've got to get them done fast. The whole world's going to come crashing down if I don't do that, is the kind of felt driver behind that. And it's exhausting, isn't it? My goodness, it's just so exhausting. And it doesn't have to be that way. But we do have to put down our attempts to fix overwhelm by doing things. Because that's what's really keeping us stuck. It's because we don't understand that overwhelm is just a signal to let us know that we're overthinking. Often thinking around, this has to be done now, all these things have to be done today. And my goodness, we're really rubbish at that, aren't we? Because we always either under or overestimate the number of things we can get done in a day. Overwhelm isn't, we can see it as a failure. The inner critic's there going, oh, you haven't got everything done, you need to get everything done, and what's wrong with you, and why the heck, why haven't you got everything done? You know, that it's really can be really felt as a failure, that we're failing in life, we're doing something wrong because we feel overwhelmed. But overwhelm is just a signal. It's so connected to your inner wisdom, inner knowing, as I like to call it. Your inner knowing is just letting you know that you're thinking too fast, that you're thinking too much, that you're thinking everything's got to be done now, that you're thinking you're a failure. And that's why it feels so heavy and tight in the chest, and we breathe and pause and give ourselves a moment. We can return back to that stillness without needing to earn it, without doing stuff. And actually then what happens is we do stuff. The irony of it is not lost on me, and I'm sure it's not lost on you, that all that focus on trying to not feel overwhelmed makes us feel overwhelmed. And then when we stop, and for me, what does stopping look like? It's a breath. Maybe 5 breaths. It's just pausing. You know, I am a very fast thinking, fast moving, fast doing things kind of person. So it's huge for me to slow down. But my goodness, there is so much clarity when I do that. I don't need to go seeking it. I can connect to my body and I can feel what's there. And in doing that, there's space. There's space for that clarity to just be there. And I'm beginning to think more and more that when inner knowing provides us with these uncomfortable feelings like overwhelm, you know, I've said this so many times, heaviness in my chest. Most of my clients I speak to say something similar. It's a heaviness here. That's your inner knowing. And when you acknowledge that, and you be with that, and you don't try to fix that, you shut up, inner knowing, I don't want to listen to you telling me that I've got too much thinking about the things I should be doing. Wow, like when we actually say, okay, hi, thank you for showing up, and thank you for letting me know that I'm busy up here, and we breathe, then I don't know, it feels like there's a connection to that source. Perhaps it's a connection to God or wisdom or inner knowing, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We can breathe into that. We can breathe into it, and it can be okay. we're okay. We see that we're okay. And that inner knowing is there to provide us with whatever guidance we might need. So what does that look like in brief? It looks like noticing. It looks like awareness there's something there, but without any judgment, without seeing it as a problem. It looks like breathing. Right down into your stomach. Looks like feeling what's there and being present to it. And noticing what guidance feels like the next right step to take. But trying to fix overwhelm, that is just keeping us stuck in a never-ending spiral, an exhausting, urgent spiral. Maybe just put it down for today. That might be worth trying. Take care. Lots of love, and I'm really grateful that you've been here with me again today.